Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing his new team, Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Hold on. That is not the match I was looking for. Wait. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, some of these were actually mislabeled. Hold on. Feels a GSL, man. So I thought I made a mistake, but some of these have been mislabeled. Okay, we know where we are. All the way around. We have our next matchup here. It's actually not going to be a PvZ. That is going to be a PvT. So the name says one thing, the replay says something different. So it looks like some of this was mislabeled, unfortunately, but now we know where we are. We're good. We're good to go. It is going to be a TvP between Maru and Classic. They're going to be facing off in their turn versus Protoss. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. Oh, it is for Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran for Team Vitality. It is Maru. Here we go, and I'm really curious to see how Maru performs here. I'll be honest. So Maru, he is a player that has been very inactive over the past couple of months. He has played sporadically in a couple of tournaments. If you've been watching StarCraft, you would know that Maru had a very lackluster performance in Lily Cup. And Lily Cup at the start of the year, likewise in the Pigsty Festival number 5 as well, where Maru, he got knocked down in the first round. He went down to Lancer in, I believe it was a Lily Cup or Master Coliseum, but he went down to Lancer in TvP. He also went down, I want to say to Dark in the Pigsty Festival number 5. I have to double check that actually. Pigsty. Let's do 5. But I remember him going down in the group stage. Let's see here. Yeah, in the group stage, he went to Dark and Classic. Hey, there you go. This is a rematch. But Maru, he went down to Dark and Classic in the Pigsty Festival as well. That was what, like 1-2 months ago. So Maru has been looking very shaky as of late. Now there is a reason for this. We did announce this during the podcast a couple of months ago. I'd say that like maybe a month ago at this point, maybe a month and a half. But Maru, he did enlist in the military. I say he enlisted. He got everything ready. He got everything to go. He was getting ready to go, but he didn't get called upon. And there is a law in Korea where if you like register, if you sign up, and if you're ready to like do your military service, and if the administration fails to actually call upon you because they have no room, because they have no like free slots at the time for 3 years in a row, then technically you are classified as finishing your mandatory military service. So Maru, for the past 3 years, he has registered, he has been ready for it, and he hasn't been called upon. So Maru, he is now technically, he finishes military service. He's done. He is now done. And this was announced maybe like almost 2 months ago. But because I think Maru, he had something to say. He was talking about how we can infer from that maybe Maru, he was expecting to go to the military, and maybe he was not committing and devoting as much time to StarCraft at the time, which would make sense as to why his performance was a little bit lackluster. But now that he doesn't have to worry about that, now that he has technically done his military service, now he can focus on StarCraft, on EWC, on GSL. So Maru's had a rough 2025 so far. We'll see if he can make up for that coming into GSL. That's also why I was really excited to see Maru coming into Star Zagora, and why I was really sad to see that Maru won't be going to Star Zagora. I was looking forward to see, like, again, like how he was looking, his form currently, considering, you know, again, what we've seen from him so far in this year. So we won't be seeing him at Star Zagora, but we'll be seeing him here in GSL. For those that are curious why we're not seeing him at Star Zagora, as we do have our initial reaction to Hellion production going into the middle line. Remember, 3 Hellions, they can one-shot probes, and they will one-shot. Oh my god. Probes, they barely get away. So far getting 1, getting up to 2. Nothing major so far. Classic, he's holding on. He was forced to take the unnatural natural because of the eBay block, but so far, Classic, he does hold. Whew, okay. We're good to go. For those who are curious why he's not going, it is because, fun fact, in this month we have 2 GSLs. we have 2 GSLs in the same month, by the way. That is crazy. We have GSL Season 1 and GSL Season 2. The schedule as we go up to 6 Hellions, Jesus Christ. As we go up to 6 Hellions, headed towards that match and that natural mineral line, probes are going to be going down. Finally, they line up. Finally, they're lining up, and here we go. More probe damage being dealt. We get 6 workers in total. Classic trying to keep up. You can see how difficult and how awkward it is to defend both your natural and your main base when you're forced to take the unnatural natural. It is difficult. And Maru, he's punishing. And behind this, we're not done. We're going for our earlier stim timing. Add-on swap 3-1-1 setup. Delayed starport out of Maru. This feels like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. Meanwhile, Classic opening up Dark Shrine. Let's go. But because the month, the month in the GSL season is so packed, so scheduled, so intense, Maru did say that he was not going for Star Zagora so he can focus on GSL and also focus on his own health and recovery. Just because he does have shoulder issues and shoulder pains, and yeah, like rest is an important part of maintaining himself. So it is a bit of a shame, but like the schedule's just really jam-packed for GSL, Star Zagora, DreamHack Dallas as well. Like it's all in the same like month period. It's crazy. But here we go. DTs are moving out. Remember, it was a DT opener into more delayed blink. Likewise, Maru, he's secure. He has a safety turret here at the natural. Ay. He's set up. Likewise, as we mentioned before, delayed starport. So because the starport is so late, that means we have an abundance of Marines to work with early on. Stim is prioritized as well. So Maru, he's hyper-fixated on building up his army first before going for any kind of drop play. Maru really lucked out on service. I mean, he was like actively looking to like enlist. Like he was... I think that's important to bear in mind as well. Like he was, again, actively like signing up, registering. He was like ready to go for 3 years in a row. Just never got called upon. So that is important to bear in mind. So we have Classic dropping into the main. Double DT. It looks like he will barely deny the turret. Oh my god. Turret is denied, but we have scans. Yeah, we have scans. Turret does complete regardless. DTs are zoned away. Templar Force back. And we mentioned this before, because of the delayed starport, because of the abundance of Marines, Maru, he has a massive army. Takes down the Observer. He's holding onto his stim. Tank does siege. Maru's pushing, and does Maru pull the boys? Yeah, he does. 2-base all in. 2-base all in. Again, the opener did scream it. Does commit, catching out the Stalkers, and Classic, he's in trouble here. Bleeding out so many Stalkers already. That's 3 Stalkers going down. 3 Stalkers. Scan takes down the Dark Templar. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 1 Colossus. 1 Colossus. 1 Dark Templar. A couple of Stalkers. More DTs are morphing in. We spoke about this in the Gumiho series, where DTs are ideal against all-ins. As scans are limited, there's a second scan. Tank volley's going off. DT catches a tank. 1 tank goes down to 2 tanks. Turrets on the way. More DTs filing in. Trying to force out more scans. Does have one. Did have another scan available. You can see him leapfrogging forward with those turrets. GT coming in. Denies one of the turrets. Classic catching reinforcements, catching Marines. But the natural is going to go down. These are some nice pickups out of Classic, but the natural will crumble. Classic trying to move in. Again, he's pushing into 2 tanks. The boys are still here. The boys, they tank. GT goes down. There's that one disruptor. But there's barely a standing army. There's barely any gateway units here to work with. Never goes off. Never goes off. Tank is being repaired. And disruptor goes down as well. Brutal losses here for Classic. Down goes the natural. Classic's army barely standing. And Maru is pushing in. He's closing in. Closing on the expansion. Likewise does catch the Dark Templar. Templar goes down. Classic catching reinforcements. Not bad. Taking down some Marauders. Over the Colossus. He snipes the Colossus. Depowers the Robo. Does depower, takes down the Colossi. And he's done it. At this point, what is there left to work with? Chargers, never mind. They're coming in. They take down the tank. They take down one of the tanks. There's still 1 tank left. Pylon's on the way. But Maru's win condition is to take down that pylon to depower the Robo once again, and he will. GG gets called, and Maru, he will break Classic. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take game 1, does take a lead in the series, and also a shout out to Babylings. Babylings for 36 months, 3 years. That's crazy. 3 years of support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. As always, long-time supporter of the channel. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. As we continue our GSL qualifiers, again, Maru does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Amygdala. Here we go. Crazy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Virtus Pro down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover and make a series out of this. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Green Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. Let's go. Let's go. Now, once again, winding it back, a lot of that game did come down to the initial opener. What happened at the start of the game, we saw the eBay block, right? The eBay block was the beginning of the end here, where it forced Classic to take the unnatural natural. In doing so, he was punished by the 6 Hellion opener of Maru, going and getting to mineral lines, roasting up probes, and the follow-up, of course, was the 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, late starport, faster third racks, faster stim, pull the boys. So the aggression just did not stop. I do appreciate that Classic did go for Dark Templar. I do think that's a really good way to deal with all-ins, and we saw that a lot of scans were being forced out, as we have another eBay block at the natural. A lot of scans were being forced out, but Maru, he was holding on to those scans, right? He was intentionally not muling back at home, and he was also, because of his SCVs, able to get some turrets up and running as well. The turrets were also a crucial part to really secure himself across the map, to keep that push going. It all still came together. Meanwhile, Classic, it's going to be a late scout of the low ground, and Classic once again forced to take the unnatural natural. Forced to expand at the third. And once again, he's going to be vulnerable because of this. Now, we could see Maru just go for the same build. We could see Reactor to Hellion once again to try to abuse these 2 locations, or we could see Maru mix it up. You don't have to. You can just play standard from here. You don't have to try to punish this. We'll see. We shall see. So now we are going to be opening up. It is going to be a Stargate opener at a Classic. Interesting. Now, Stargate openers are very safe in specifically this situation. The reason for this, I would imagine this is going to be Stargate into Oracle, because it is so awkward to defend both these locations at once, back and forth and back again. The Oracle doesn't care about terrain. The Oracle can easily go between your own natural mineral line and your main mineral line, go back and forth. So the Oracle can actually be quite useful tool here defensively against this kind of setup. Meanwhile, Maru going proxy starport. Oh boy. This looks like a Hellion drop. Adept gets across the map, will delay the CC. Not bad. Command center is delayed. We have once again reacted Hellion on the way. This is confirmed. This is spotted. Classic is somewhat aware. Now behind this Classic, he has to confirm, is it reacted Hellion or are we going into Widowmine production behind this? But now he delays once again. He gets 1, 2, 3 SCVs. Takes down 3 workers. He will confirm extra Hellions. Now he knows. He's fully aware of the mass Hellion coming his way. Back at home, we have a shield battery. There's that Oracle that we did mention. And Maru, he's going for the medevac, going for the drop. Classic, he's on patrol. And as you can see, Classic, he's not moving out with the Oracle. It's keeping it at home. Its purpose here is to defend. As the Hellions, they make their way into the main. We have a full wall, but that doesn't matter. Hellions, they bust into the mineral line. And Probe's going to be going down. They're getting roasted. Gets 1, 2, 3 probes so far. Oh. Getting up to 4. Hop pick up. Saves the Hellions. Going in once again. Oh my god, the juggling. Jesus. Does attempt to juggle here. Does attempt to avoid some shots. Not fully able to. But more Hellions are. They're still trickling in. Phoenix has arrived. And Classic, he will hold. He will hold. He will shut this down. And how much did he lose? As that was 9 probe kills. 9 workers for 5 Hellions. Not the best trade from Maru, considering how many Hellions were thrown away. Oh my god. Macfield? Let's go. We have Cyclones in production. Now, this is not a mech transition, but this is to be safe against the Phoenixes. Maru, he's assuming that more Phoenixes are on the way. Hellion goes back in, but this time is denied. Nice warp in here from Classic. Shuts down the dive. Gets across the map. Not enough energy for a lift. And not enough. Oracle goes down. A Cyclone will defend. Shuts down the Adepts. As they head into the mineral line. They get 1 SCV. Just the one. Maru holds. He does hold behind this, going into his Cyclones to be safe, and going into Proxy Cloak Banshee. It's crazy. Now, something important just happened. The Oracle got sniped by the Cyclone. So now there is no Oracle to defend, which means there's no Revelation. Checking the units here, he has 0 Oracles. Oh, but the Phoenix does scout. Whew. Does scout, does confirm, does get eyes on the researching tech lab. He knows. He now knows behind this Robo's on the way. And we might just see a chronoed out Oracle. Never mind. We're just going to deny. Yeah, Stalkers, they move in, and they will deny the Banshees. As Stalkers deny this proxy, though, here comes Maru with a push towards the 3rd. It does force a recall. Does force a recall. Classic does hold. He does deny the Banshee. Classic is keeping up. He's keeping up. Likewise, we built up to 3 Cyclones. And they will take down at least some of these Stalkers. But they're focusing down. He gets 1. Takes on 1 Cyclone so far. Nice blink control, breaking the logons. It does break them. The marine cannon is getting lower and lower. Classic moving in. There is no bunker. Uh-oh. Yeah, no bunker back at home. Classic pushing forward. Maru, he's in a little bit of danger here. He has to pull the boys. Once again, breaking logons. 1 Stalker goes down. For a Cyclone. Better trade for Classic. Classic, he pulls away. Now claiming his 3rd base, getting up to a proper 3-base saturation. And working towards Colossus. Colossus, Forge, +1, building up towards the mid-game. Classic is getting there. And he does snipe the starport, not bad. Does bring it down. Maru pulling back to the natural. Has to rebuild his starport. He has no drop play, he has no drop potential. Just contained back at home. I mean, that's the downside of going for the proxy. 0 drop, 0 metamax. Again, only 1 cyclone remaining. Macfield wasn't quite as worth it. Oh. So Classic pulls away, scouts the main. We have a 5-rack setup on Jesus. 5-rack setup on 2 bases. This does look like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. I mean, considering how delayed the starport production is, that would make sense. So just like the previous game, Maru, he may pull the boys with this. Basically, we're waiting for a 3rd TC. The longer this game goes on without a 3rd TC, the more likely it is that we just pull the boys. So Maru goes straight with the Stalkers. Maru moving out. Medevacs have arrived. And Classic back at home, what do you have to defend? He does have 1 Colossus. Yeah, he's got his first Colossus. 2nd Colossus on the way. Maru, he is committed here. Remember, there is no 3rd TC. There is no expansion behind this. He has to deal critical damage. Bearing in mind the Classic is getting he already has a 4th base. So he's got double the base count. Zelsay catch reinforcements. Colossus is revealed. Dust him in. Up. Gets the first Colossus. Not bad. Colossus goes down. But Zelsay coming from behind. They caught the reinforcements, and Classic will shut this down. He will shut this down completely. We'll take a matchup to the face. Cleans up the first army. And there's just nothing left. There's nothing behind this here. There's a couple of Marauders, a couple of Widow Mines. Another Colossus has already arrived. GG gets called. The push fails, and Classic ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Classic. He does survive, does persevere. Again, Maru was essentially all in with that move out. Opted not to pull the boys, but even if he had, there was already a Colossus. There was a 2nd Colossus on the way. Again, Classic, he had gotten away with quite a solid economy here on 4 bases. And yeah, Maru, there was nothing else behind it. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match here. And we'll see how this story ends. Will it go the way of Classic? Will it go the way of Maru? Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping in. Poor Maru gets Classic in the first round. I mean, again, Classic, he's the person that knocked Maru out of Pigsty Festival. Like, that did happen. Did happen, and here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Terran player representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. Here we go. Top of my head, how did Classic win? It was a failed all-in at Maru. That's the simplistic version. Something that we should also emphasize as well, with the Stargate opener from Classic, it did feel like Maru, he did overreact to it. I was touching on the Cyclone production and the Macfield accelerators. Typically, that's a response to Phoenix play. If Classic had gone Stargate opener into 3, 4, 5 Phoenixes, into Phoenix Colossus or into Phoenix Charge, then Maru would have been in a much better position. But if you remember, it was only 1 Phoenix. It was only 1 Phoenix, and Classic switched into Blink Stalker. Because of that, the investment into the Cyclones and the investment into Macfield accelerators wasn't as viable, or it wasn't as impactful. It didn't really achieve too much. So it was a really rough follow-up there out of Maru, and then of course it led into Maru going for the 2-base all-in. But Classic, he just shut it down really well. On top of that, I shouldn't forget, remember, Maru, he didn't just invest into Macfield accelerators, he also invested into Cloak Banshee, which also got shut down, right? Like, that's more resources invested into, you know, not medevacs, not starport production to support his army, into something that never came to fruition. So, really nice tech switch out of Classic, and also really important that he was able to deny the Cloak Banshee before it really got going. I would say that the opener was better for Maru, as in, if you remember, Maru, he killed 9 probes. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad that Maru was able to get some economic damage done with his Hellions, but, like, the aftermath of that was more shaky. So there's a lot that it did kind of slowly add up over the course of that game. From here, Maru does open up economically, so ranks expand out of Maru into a delayed factory. Meanwhile, Classic, once again, standard opener, and for the first time this series, Classic, he can expand. he can expand freely. There is no eBay block. Likewise, because Classic can now expand freely, Maru, he's not tempted to go Reactored Hellion, right? Like, every game in the series, we've seen Reactored Hellion and commitment into Hellion run-bys and Hellion aggression because of how vulnerable Classic was. That shouldn't be the case here. From here, we can see Reactored Widowmine instead. We could see Hellion to Widowmine or just straight up Widowmine instead. Our eyes are on Maru. For now, Hellion. Ooh. So 2 Hellions on the way. Now, I don't expect us to see a 3rd and 4th Hellion, but we'll see. Oh, never mind. God damn it. It's a Hellion drop. It's proxy star put across the map, so it is going to be a 1-1-1 Reactored Hellion into Hellion drop. So the Hellion drops, they continue here for Maru. We'll see if Classic is aware of this, though. We'll see if he can get a read on this. So we have more Hellions on the way. Fun fact, this is actually the same build or a similar build that we saw last game. He scouts, he sees, he knows, he does find the starport. And this Hellion drop should not deal any damage. It shouldn't do much, I should say. Oh. Hellions, they threaten the natural. SimCity is solid, Classic is in position. And likewise, he rotates over towards the main. And this is why I would discourage this kind of play multiple times in a series, right? If you do this once already, if you do it twice, now your opponent is that much more mentally prepared for this kind of play. We have a full wall here at the natural. Ooh, despite that, 2 probes go down. Not bad. Medevac is denied. Rotates over, Stalker's in position. Boosting into the main. And Maru, he commits regardless. Does commit. Probes, they line up. Nice force field. Force field does lock down the army. Hellions looking for another way in. They rush in towards the natural. Up, and the Hellions, they make it through. Yeah, 3 Hellions, they one-shot. Probes are getting roasted. And how many go down? Not many. 8. Not bad. 8 workers for 4 Hellions, and the medevac does survive. He's not done, Jesus. He's not done. He's not subbing. Going for another Hellion drop into the main. Classic is out of position. He moves out. There's nothing at home. And more workers are falling. 2 Hellions, a 2-shot. Hunting down more workers. Hunting down more probes. Denying any kind of mining in the main. And again, the follow-up Hellions, these are unexpected. These typically don't happen. Well, Classic walking up the ramp. Goes into the natural. Does go in, he's getting locked down by the boys. The boys are being pulled. The bunker does shut down one of their stalkers. Not bad. And with that, Maru, he will hold. He will hold. Blink isn't done. No, there's no blink. Just now finishing. Blink was late to complete. And Maru, he bleeds out another 9 SCVs. We do trade. 13 probes for 9 SCVs. Maru does hold. And this time the starport makes it back home. This time there's no crazy proxy Banshee. There's no Banshee follow-up. From here, Maru going for his add-on swap. Interesting. So Maru, he does cut tanks at 2. So only 2 tanks. Now going into stim and combat shields. Classic back at home. Throwing down extra gateways on 2 bases. This is quite committed, actually. Getting up to a 4-gate setup before the 3rd. This might just be overly safe, but Classic, he does delay his expansion. His expansion is quite late this time. So a late 3rd base out of Classic. Getting into faster charge. Now, this might work out well. The faster charge and the abundance of gateways early on, and now, like, the prioritization here of Colossus production, this is all safe, right? It's all safe play from Classic. If Maru goes for an all-in, there are going to be a lot of Zelts available here. be a lot of charge lots. And Maru has gone for 2 base all-ins 2 games in a row. True. So, I mean, it would be a good read. I say it was safe, but this was still a bay after the 3rd. It's not the safest play at a Classic. Observer goes down. Maru's getting ready for his move out. Stim is finishing. And here comes the push. And do we pull the boys? It's an all-in. I pan over. What do I see? I see 2 Raxes without add-ons. It's a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in here from Maru. He's committing across the map. Classic trying to slow this down. Nice force fields. He does lock down the army. Not bad. Picks off some Marines. Catches the Winter Mine. Tanks. Ooh, getting some volleys off. Tanks force the siege, and again, every second counts. Classic gets to buy as much time as possible. The first Colossus should come out. Should pop out in time. More reinforcements on the way. The boys are being pulled. Again, Maru, he's completely all in. Tanks are sieging. Colossus is exposed. Oh. Yeah, the Colossus is going to be targeted down. Likewise, Charge will take it on top of the tank. Not bad. Tank does fall. He gets one, he gets both tanks. More Zealots coming in. And Classic, can he hold on? It's going to be close. The Gateway Army crumbles. Not enough Stalkers, not enough Zealots. The Colossus goes down. No shield batteries. And with that, Maru, he does it. He breaks the natural. Stims in, takes down the pylons, depowers everything at the natural. And there's nothing. There's boys. There's a couple of probes. A couple of Stalkers. Again, Classic did overextend. He got the tanks, but he lost everything in the process. And Maru is going for the kill. Going for the kill, going for the throat. Again, different variation of all-in every game. And again, Classic, he didn't have the safest build here. He had faster charge, but his Colossus production was more later, was more delayed. Viking lands, and he takes down every probe. Yeah, all the probes are falling. The boys are being pulled. The final stand up for Classic. And Maru, he stims, and he wins. He stims and he wins, takes out everything. GG gets called, and Maru, he will qualify for GSL. GG. GG, well played. Maru, he does qualify. Very fast games, all in after all in after all in. Classic, he was able to somewhat keep up, but here we had some spiciness out of Maru. I was surprised, and Classic as well, to see the drop play continue, right? We had a 4 Hellion drop into the bases, and Classic did a decent job defending, and then we had 2 more. We had 2 more Hellions dropping in. Classic, he was across the map. He bled out so many Stalkers trying to counterattack. It wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it in the end, especially considering he was up against an all-in. So for that defense, Classic, he had like 7 Stalkers less than he should have. He had 1 less Sentry as well. Likewise, he did delay his Bay in favor of the 3rd base, so later Colossus production, which everything adds up. Everything does add up here when trying to defend against an all-in. GG. GG, well played. With that, Maru, he does claim the series. He does qualify, and Classic, he gets knocked down to... He gets knocked down to another match, to the elimination match, or the decider match, I guess. The second qualifying match of Group B. Let's go. Sorry, just setting things up. But shout out to Classic for forcing the ace match, right? For making a series out of it. I would say that I still haven't seen what I want to see out of Maru yet. We haven't seen any mid-game. It was, again, just non-stop 2 ace all-ins. But I look forward to seeing more of Maru in GSL. Do look forward to it. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are halfway through our initial broadcast. We're halfway through our broadcast. Again, when it comes to the GSL qualifiers, 16 best of 3s. 16 best. It's a lot of best of 3s, papi. It's a lot of matches, so we are going to be covering 6 best of 3s here this morning. As we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket, you can see the remainder of our matches. We just wrapped up with Gumiho versus Hero. Gumiho, he was the first player to qualify over Hero. Then Hero took down Shin 2-1. Hero, the second player to qualify. And Maru, the third player, taking down Classic 2-1. So I do appreciate we've had some ace matches here. We've had some back and forths. We have 3 matches left. We have a Rogue versus Classic, Reina versus Björn, and Zan versus his opponents as well. Here we go. So we are halfway through, and again, we still have plenty more matches to go after this set of 6. That is going to be later on this evening. Again, because there are so many qualifying matches, because there's 16 qualifying matches, we are going to be going over the course of them throughout the course of the day, throughout the course of a couple of days actually. So plan. So we're pacing ourselves. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break. We are halfway through the matches, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes with Rogue versus Classic, and eventually Reina versus Beyond. See you soon. See you soon after the break.